Government assisting fishing boat owners to get more resilient vessels. Entertainers satisfied with the rewards reaped from this year's Cropover season. An appeal for more veterinary professionals on the island.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Boat owners affected by Hurricane Beryl should have new vessels in the waters by December. That's because the ministry responsible for the blue and green economy is working on a plan intended to be not only cost-effective, but also to employ a number of Barbadians in the long term. Rachel Agard spoke with Acting Minister of the Green and Blue Economy, Corey Lane, and filed this report.
Boat owners affected by Hurricane Beryl will soon benefit from a government-led plan to restore their livelihoods. Acting Minister of the Green and Blue Economy, Corey Lane, says discussions are ongoing with an overseas supplier to secure a mold that will allow Barbados to build better boats to withstand hurricanes and other natural disasters. A local proposal is also being considered. The minister says a study tour has been taken to Nova Scotia, Canada, which includes the substantive minister, boat owners, boat builders, and other stakeholders in the fishing industry.
The final decision will be made by the substantive minister, but I think they may look at a blend using some local talent here and also looking at the boats coming out of Canada as well. And there are a number of reasons for that. The boats coming out from Canada, the hull is a lot stronger, sturdier, it's superior quality, but that's not even the real icing on the cake. The icing on the cake is the ability to train and build from a mold being sent here. And what that does is it makes sure that the fishing industry is more sustainable and that we can actually build an industry of building and exporting boats.
Moreover, Minister Lane says this move will be cost-effective and save hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long term.
One of the options are really to buy the boats from there, get them built there and sail down here, which takes a lot more time and is more expensive by some $200,000 per boat. So we're actually saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, which would equate to millions of dollars. And we're also getting the opportunity to get the molds sent here, get persons trained here, employed here, boats built here, and boats on the water by December. So all in all, that proposal is looking very favorable from a cost perspective, from a time perspective, from a training perspective, and from a sustainability and mitigation and recovery perspective for future events.
Additionally, Mr. Lane says of the 241 boats damaged following the passing of Hurricane Beryl, 214 have been lifted out of the water at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex and placed in temporary boat yards.
The others that remain, those are either not significantly damaged or completely damaged. There are few, 2 or 3, that are in a position that will take a little bit more time to lift, but the lion's share of the lifting is completed. The ones that are sunken, those would have been removed as well. When we talk about the ones that are significantly damaged, we mean like they're pieces of wood, so they're scattered into wood. So those will be removed. Those are going to be removed by skimming and drenching. That takes a different procedure.
Efforts are still ongoing to remove parts of sunken boats and should be completed within the next couple of weeks. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
And with opportunities being created for boat building, the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology remains committed to the idea of the island becoming a hub for boat building and maintenance in the region. Principal Ian Drakes says the last boat building course was conducted in 2003. However, he says last year, following discussions with the Fisheries Division and the Fisheries Chief, a course was re-implemented, but at the start of the semester, only 2 people had subscribed.
We put together a training program to train persons in boat building and repairs. We even summoned one of our instructors who had retired and who has been trained in the UK, United Kingdom, to provide that training. And we did a lot of marketing, and we got all of 2 applicants showing an interest in the program, which we were willing and had put a stipend in place to help those who may be struggling with bus fare and lunch money.
Mr. Drakes adds that the program has not been completely shelved and is inviting all interested to contact the SJPI. He adds that similar to the country's emphasis on building resilient homes, the SJPI is on a mission to do the same with building boats and introducing new aspects as the country pushes the use of renewable energy and better industry standards.
There are a lot of parents who have been trying hard to get person into the SJPI for all types of trades, but no one takes an interest to boat building. So we are saying to the public, if you have a child that has an interest, boat building can gain lots of money in repairs and maintenance for this country before we wait to barrel the sequel.
Local entertainers have had a satisfactory 50th Cropover season. That's according to President of the Entertainment Association of Barbados, Rudy Maloney. He says artists and musicians were able to perform at multiple events throughout the season, which officially ended with the Soca 5.0 show on Tuesday.
The overall season was a pretty good season. They had plenty of events. I could say the artists, the DJs, the service providers, bartenders, all of these people, I think, had a good season. The events were well produced, and most people came out and supported their favorite event.
Mr. Maloney tells CBC News songs perceived as favorites were played multiple times on radio, and the faces of particular artists were regulars at Cropover events. He says the association is now hoping that more artists are given opportunities to perform overseas.
What we would like to see now is that our artists have an opportunity now to go to the other carnivals throughout the world, not only in the Caribbean, but throughout the world. And that would be very, very satisfying for the art form.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has declared tomorrow Flag Day.
Hello Barbadians. The last time I spoke to you and asked you to do a Flag Day, we were getting ready to celebrate and to accept the world onto our shores. This time, let's do it tomorrow because we have a Barbadian who is ready to show the world what we're capable of. For Sade, we want to represent the blue, yellow and black, and we want to make sure that on Friday, tomorrow, that all of us as much as possible can let her know that we are with her in spirit, we have her in our prayers, and we know that she will do her best, whatever that best is. So help me send that message on to Sade tomorrow, Friday, 9th of August, blue, yellow and black. Let's put it up.
Well, coming up, a warning about the danger posed by imported pests to local agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security is looking into a recent situation where a pest was brought into the country and has had a negative impact on sweet potato crops. That's according to Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indar Ware, who says his ministry has been unfairly criticized for not knowing how to manage the pest.
Bring a pest into this country that we are not familiar with, we have to do the research on it. And we have to see how we can treat it. So it is not every known pest on earth that this ministry is going to be able to immediately do something about. And that's the reason why we have strict border control, to make sure that we ask people to get permits to bring plants into the country, and equally for animals.
Given this development, Minister Ware says it is necessary for him to warn Barbadians that there should be absolutely no sneaking of fruits, plants, animals or animal products into the island. He says Barbados' strict border control rules are to be followed.
If we bring the wrong type of pest into this country, we literally can stand by and see most of our crops being wiped out. And there's no shortcut to any of this. I was about to say the same applies to animals. People feel that they can put a piece of meat in the suitcase and get it through customs. And in truth, in fact, that same piece of meat can cause untold damage to livestock farming in Barbados. And a good example, for example, is pigs. Pigs eat anything. So you take a piece of meat and you give it to pigs because people tend to dispose of food and leftovers, etc. And all of a sudden, we got African swine fever.
Head of the Barbados Agricultural Society is appealing for more veterinary professionals in Barbados. Chief Executive Officer of the BAS, James Paul, says there are not enough vets graduating to meet the needs of the farming industry. He made the appeal during an interview with the media on the sidelines of the Pinnacle Feeds seminar.
You're getting vets, that is true, but these are small animal vets, really deal with pets, domestic pets and things like that. But what we need to see are more large animal vets, for instance, in terms of the cows, okay? We don't have enough vets. For instance, we are looking now to bring in cows. The challenge is that, for instance, many of the challenges that farmers will face as far as raising those cows are concerned. Do we have enough vets on hand in order to advise the farmers properly when incidents occur?
Mr. Paul says as Barbados seeks to boost its agricultural industry, young people should be encouraged to pursue veterinary careers.
There are opportunities for young people to get involved, but are we training our young people to answer those opportunities? And this is where the need is, those skilled technicians that can properly advise. Currently, there are not enough vets in the industry, and that is why, you know, it amazes me sometimes when I hear people reach conclusions, oh, this has happened on the farm. But ask them, have you had the advice of a vet?
2 Christchurch men and a St. James woman have been remanded to Dodds Prison on gun and ammunition charges. They have been identified as 35-year-old Rodney Romario Rogers of Ferry Valley, 30-year-old Jamar Emmanuel Paulin of Sergeant's Village, and 35-year-old Celia Alicia Taylor of number 170 7th Avenue West Terrace Gardens. Police Communications and Public Affairs Officer Inspector Rodney Ennis says the 3 accused appeared before Magistrate Manella Renee in the District A Criminal Court 2 today. They are charged for possession of firearm and possession of ammunition, offences which, according to the police, were committed on July the 29th while at Maxwell Road, Christchurch. Lawmen say Rodney Romario Rogers was also charged separately for possession of firearm and ammunition. Rogers, Paulin and Taylor are scheduled to return to the Oistins Magistrates Court on September the 5th. And police are seeking your assistance in locating a man wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters. He is Romaro Shane Rashawn Lewis, alias Cartoon, of number 89 Hillside, Gull Hill, Christchurch. Lawmen say Lewis is approximately 6 feet tall, brown complexion, and is slim. He has tattoos with the letters RSL on the upper part of his right arm. Lewis is advised that he can present himself to the Criminal Investigations Department at the Oistins Police Station, accompanied by an attorney at law. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Romaro Shane Rashawn Lewis is asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or the nearest police station. Indeed, time for Sports Night as we're joined this evening by Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, good evening. What a day at the Olympics.
Oh, definitely, Pearson. It was quite a lot to talk about. And from the Caribbean perspective, they won 2 more medals at the Paris Olympic Games, bringing the count to 11. Grenada got their 2nd medal when Anderson Peters won the bronze in the men's javelin. Peters had a best throw of 88.54 meters. And that javelin final was won by Pakistan's Arshad Nadima in a new Olympic record of 92.97 meters. Niraj Chopra of India took the silver in a season's best 89.45 meters. Now, Jamaica added another bronze to their tally of 6 as Rashid Broadbell got his first Olympic medal with a season's best time of 13.09 seconds in the men's 110-meter hurdles. The USA's Grant Holloway won the gold in a time of 12.99, while his teammate Daniel Roberts got the silver in 13.09. Jamaica now has 1 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. Letsili Tobogo of Botswana dominated the men's 200 meters final today to bring home gold for his country. He set a new national record while preventing Noah Lyles of the United States from completing the Olympic sprint double. Tobogo was an easy winner in 19.46 seconds. Silver went to Kenneth Bednarek of the USA in 19.62, while Lyles was third in 19.70. Well, it wasn't immediately clear what Lyle's medical status was following the race. The sprinter told reporters he had tested positive for COVID on Tuesday. And in more bad news for the world's fastest man, minutes after the race, Lyles was handed a yellow card for a violation of Technical Rule 7.1 for improper conduct. It wasn't immediately clear why he was given it, but during introductions, he did demonstrably jump onto the track as he heard his name while pumping up the crowd before the race. Lyles smacked the box housing the speaker in his lane so hard that the number on the box fell off. Well, Pearson, that's my first look at sports. When I return, I have some cricket coming your way.
Okay, Anne-Marie, but it was a good 200-meter race.
It was a fantastic one.
Yeah, what a result. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with the business in just a moment. In business tonight, government's drive for a carbon-neutral Barbados is at an advanced stage. A pilot program for consultations for terms and conditions of the procurement process will come to the public later this year. It came out of a report from technocrats of the World Bank and Inter-American Development Bank at a recent meeting with the Ministry of Energy and Business Development at the ministry's offices at Warrens. Renewable energy expert Mauro Suarez gave details of the progress.
This workshop has been very, very important to make decisions. I think on, I would say, more than half of the pending issues. There are several issues that still need further work, but the idea is, as we have mentioned, within the third quarter of this year, to be able to publish the request for information and the expression of interest, which will be also will contain the chance of, or a parallel process of public consultation of the terms and conditions that will be offered in the procurement process.
He said the renewable energy space holds investment opportunities on the generation side as well as storage, and they would be owned and developed by private sector.
Private entities. Typically, you know, you either form an entity, or it can be a person, or it can be a legal entity that will be formed to own the assets, and the right to build that asset and to get paid for the service provided will be granted as a result of participating and being awarded in the competitive bidding, right? So that's who will own the assets. It will be the private sector who will have to develop the project, get the land, right? Do all the permitting, be competitive in the competitive bidding, and then operate that asset over time.
3 Barbadians are now certified architectural coating technologists. They are Dwayne Drakes, Suzanne Yard, and Ashley Graham, who now have the ACT accreditation to their names. It came from the Masters Painters Institute in Vancouver, Canada. They're among 15 key sales staff of Harris Paints from across the region, 12 of whom have passed the robust training program. The MPI is an institute dedicated to the establishment of quality assurance programs, training and publications of the architectural paint and coating sector in the US and Canada. Senior Manager for High Performance Coatings and Trade at Harris Paints, Simon Cabral, said having well-trained staff makes the company better equipped to serve its customers' needs for the best possible results. The company also holds ISO 9001-2015 certification, which guides its quality management. Time now for tonight's trading report.
In Jamaica, Victon Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 2,602,101 units was the volume leader, followed by Trans-American Highway Limited and the JMMB Group Limited 9.50%. In Trinidad and Tobago, Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 1,011,364 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $3,622,502.64, followed by JMMB Group Limited. And here in Barbados, no securities traded today on the regular market.
We are back with more sports. That means we're back with Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie?
Yes, Pearson, I start this segment with cricket as South Africa closed day 2 of the first test with the West Indies on 344 for 8, resuming their first innings on 45 for 1 at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad after rain washed out most of yesterday's play. Tony DeZorzi fell to Joma Warrican for 78 from his overnight 32. Skipper Temba Bavuma then stepped up to put the South Africans in a firm position as he has so far top scored with 86, including 7 fours and 1 6. Joma Warrican is the pick of the West Indies bowlers, taking 3 for 66, while there are 2 wickets apiece for Kemar Roach, 2 for 53, and Jaden Seals, who with his first test wicket at home has 2 for 54. Tomorrow's third day's play is set to start at 10 a.m. Well, the early action in the Barbados Road Tennis Open is whetting the appetite for what is shaping up to be a keen competition. Here's a look at some of the opening matches played at the Dighton Parroch facility in Bush Hall. Having taken the first game at 21-11, Hakeem Ellis backing the screen came into the second to the same fire. And while Anthony Harris was holding his own, it was shots like these that gave Ellis the edge. Ellis with the serve, Harris responds, Ellis a nice backhand, Harris returns but wait for it, another lethal shot for Ellis that is effective. Harris was not as flamboyant a player and admittedly gained majority of his points through faults from Ellis, who goes into the net. But in the grand scheme of things, Ellis was the better player, and boy was he on fire, going in for the kill here. Ellis has signaled early he's one to watch out for, as he has a response for almost every shot and then injects the power to back it up. And this is where he claimed the match. A good rally that ends with a sweet backhand. The second game was won at 21-16. Azari Clark facing the screen in the white was also a straight set winner as he delivered the goods in the first game at 21-9. And in this second did not come out to play, sending Fabian Batson every which way around the court before beating him. Clark may be one of the younger players, but he plays with experience, and Batson was feeling his wrath. This was a nice short return. I do still have to give it to Batson for putting up a fight, but the youngster Clark was relentless, and when the power shot didn't work, he skillfully switched things up. Now that is class. And how about driving down the line to finish? Batson again with no answer. And this was game and match point to Clark. Batson serves and the immediate return gives him the win. Clark, the second game, taken convincingly at 21-7. It was a bit more competitive between Sylvanus Doyle and Christian Leslie. Doyle facing the screen took the first game at 21-14, and these were exchanges in the second. Oops, Leslie returns into the net. Actually, it was Doyle who had fallen behind in the early stages of the match, but the rallies were long, testimony to Leslie not making it easy as Doyle again falls. But he stormed back and was now ahead using footwork and quick-fire technique in trying to beat his opponent. And he goes in for the smash, and it's effective. And soon enough, it was at that point, game and match. And Leslie's return is out of court. Sylvanus Doyle wins the second game and the match, taking the second at 21-14. And with a good crowd on hand, as is customary, Jaden Mears in the black also had success when he totally dominated Alexander Clark. That was a sweet drive down court. And he wasn't done yet. After claiming the first at 21-14, he was lethal in the second game. Ooh-wee, that was a shot. Clark serves. Mears picks it up, but the pressure is on, and Clark crumbles again into the net. No doubt Mears is in top form. What a shot. Beautifully executed. This match actually got the crowd all into it, and you can see why. Both players in it, all on the line. But watch Mears switching it up, and Clark is left in the wilderness. Hear the crowd response. And Mears close it out here as Clark returns too long. Mears winning the second game 21-9 and also claiming stake to the match. There's a newly named Frank Worrell ground. It's located at Waterford with the dedication ceremony being held recently.
Bless this plot now, Lord, we pray, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. And with that blessing, what was formerly known as the Waterford A playing field at the Cropover School is now the Frank Worrell ground. The dedication ceremony held on August 1st bore special significance as it was on the centenary birthday of the late Sir Frank. A project of the Cropover School of Scholars Association, in presenting his citation on Sir Frank, Tony Marshall, the former president of the Barbados Cricket Association and former UN ambassador for Barbados, says Sir Frank's impact was way beyond the field of play.
He was not a cricketer only. He was a leader, a man of excellence, a man of style and grace. He was very conscious of the fact that he, as we would say in Beijing, where he came from, very conscious. And he lived a life which seemed full of intent to do all he could for his people, his country, and his race.
The renaming of the ground also has its potential impact on the students, and for both the physical education and history departments, they see its educational value.
This field is a field where a lot of exploits, not only in cricket, but in sports in general, have taken place. All of our sportsmen, especially our cricketers, as I said, they are aware of the legacy that they have inherited, and we will do our utmost best to make sure that that is preserved.
Speaking on behalf of Sir Frank's family, Steve Cumberbatch shared the hope that it will serve as a continuation of his legacy.
We often don't see the greatness in ourselves, but events like this and what was done today allows that 14-year-old or 12-year-old coming up to recognize that there's something greater than themselves that they can stand on. Yes, it's nice to have a great facility in terms of a field or a pavilion, and it's important to have coaching to practice your skills, but it's equally important to know that you are part of a tradition, a great and beautiful tradition of excellence that we could all be proud of.
So here's a look at the newly named Sir Frank Worrell ground. And Pearson, that's it for sports.
Any memories of that ground, Anne-Marie?
Oh, many. Records, too.
Boastful Anne-Marie. Thank you so much. We'll take a break here. We're coming back in just a moment. And that's our news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. By God's will, we will see you tomorrow.